Hello, everyone. This is Pharmacist Michaels. Happy, healthy living. I've had Mary on here before, but we're going to talk about a different subject today. We're going to talk about her life in a religious cult, which I find very interesting. So, thanks for coming on, Mary.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on here again.
So, how old were you when this whole thing started?
Oh, the cult, I was born into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what are your earliest memories of it?
I just remember growing up, like having all these different rules and wondering why I was never allowed to go to public school and stuff like that. Um, why we had to go to church so many times. Like it was 3 times a week. I know that's not like terrible, but it's just a lot when you're a kid.
So, what were some of the rules?
Well, they definitely did not believe in medicine or doctors or anything like that. Nothing government officials or nothing like that either. Just kind of just like stay into themselves and trying to just live off the map pretty much. I didn't even have a social security number, which is all that always blows people away. But I know one time I was in the store when I was trying to leave. Um, I I took a long time. It took me about 5 years to get a social security number and to get all the stuff that I needed to be able to get out on my own. Um, that was a long 5 years, and I also worked on getting my GED during that time, um, and then just trying to figure out where to go from there. But I didn't have a social security number, and so I remember people not even believing me about that. One time I went to Walmart and I was gonna buy one of their Visa cards and I asked them if they had to have a social security number with it and she's like, yeah, they do. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have one. And she's like, oh yeah, you do. You have one. Everybody has a social security number. And I'm like, no, I really don't. I've never had one, so like that was the first step. I was 24 when I got that. And
24.
hmm
So, what made you want to get out of this cult?
I had a couple friends that were kind of tied into it, and then they decided to leave and like quit coming to our church. And then I just always wondered why people started leaving, you know. And I just got older. It took me a while. I was 28 when I finally got out, and so I've had to adjust to a completely new lifestyle, and it's been crazy.
So, all your siblings were in this cult too, right?
Yes,
And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
there were 12 of us.
12. Wow.
Now there's 10 because two passed away last year. But
Were
I'm the
they
youngest.
You're the youngest?
Hmm.
So, what was the age difference between you and the oldest?
I think it was like 26 years, I believe.
Wow.
28, something like that.
Were you
Hmm.
the only one that got out?
Well, I think because I had a lot more, or I think because I had disabilities and stuff is why I stuck around with my dad longer. But like the rest of my siblings pretty much got out when they were 18, but they could drive and all that stuff, whereas I wasn't able to do that. So and I loved my dad so much that that was part of the reason I stayed as long as I did.
Right. What about your mom?
My mom passed away when I was a little bit over 17. She had breast cancer and she
Did
just,
she have any problems with this cult, or was she on board with it? I know you said your dad liked it.
yeah, it was actually in my dad's family that
Oh,
established
okay.
it, but my mom's family was not from that. But her and my dad got married when they were like very young, and then she joined the church and everything too. But she always believed it too, and she believed in it for over 40 years. So by then, that was all she knew.
So, were you able to have contact with anybody that was outside this church?
I could a little bit, mostly if they were girls. My dad was very, very like strict with me, didn't want me to hang out with anyone opposite sex, and so I hung out with a lot of girls and my cousins and nieces. And since I'm so young in my family, some of my older siblings, they had kids right around the time I was born. And there's actually five nieces and nephews that are older than I am. So I was an aunt when I was born.
Wow.
So I've had a lot of kids to hang out with.
So, did your fiance come from this cult, or did you meet him afterwards?
I met him afterwards.
Were there people in there that you could date?
No, they were pretty much all related.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
But they were related to you?
Yeah, and there was a few guys I liked growing up, but we were just friends. I didn't get to have a boyfriend till like I left, and I secretly had a few, while I
Right.
was at my dad's, but nothing like now. But
So what
I didn't know very much. I was really, really sheltered still.
so what would happen to you if you broke the rules?
Um, my dad would just talk to me. I wouldn't get too punished or anything. My dad, he didn't really punish me. It was my mom that was a lot harder on me than my dad. But my dad would just give me the talking to.
So there, he wasn't abusive to you. He just wanted you to follow the rules.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so when you went to this church, was it like just a regular church where they have a pastor there and they're giving sermons, or was it different?
Um, it's different. I mean, it's just a simple building with bathrooms. No other rooms, just like a one big room. And the pastor was my dad and my uncle. So, and then there were some other pastors from the different churches that were similar to ours, and they would come up and preach once in a while. But they would just start out with singing a few songs, no instruments, just completely vocal, and start singing a few songs, and they would pray, and then somebody would get up and preach. Either my dad or my uncle would get up and preach. And now since I've gone, it's a little bit different now. But
Is your dad still there?
no, my dad passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Were you allowed to listen to music at your house?
Yeah, I was. My dad let me listen to music and stuff. We just didn't have a TV or a computer or internet. We had a radio and CDs, and we could go to the library and get books and stuff like that. But mhm.
So by the time you were, say, in middle school, some of your siblings were already long gone, right?
Yeah, since I was the youngest, I pretty much just remember growing up with like the last three or four, five, you know. Um,
And did they all left when they were 18, but you stayed in?
yes.
So when you decided you wanted out, was that after your dad passed away?
No, it was actually before. I wanted to wait until he passed away, and like I really tried because I love my dad so much, and but I just couldn't. I was coming up to 28 years old. I had never gone through my adolescent years really, so I was wanting to start dating and the biggest thing I wanted to do was go to school, and so I got to finish my GED. And then when I moved here, I went to college at OCCC, and I just graduated there last year. So I just
So
wanted my freedom, you know. I
so you
mostly
never went to school during all this time?
no, I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay. All your siblings were homeschooled?
No, just me and like I think one of my brothers was homeschooled a little bit, but it was mostly me because I have so many disabilities, and my dad didn't want me to be out in public and stuff because first of all, I didn't even have a social security number, and it would just not be good. I don't know if he was just really trying to shelter me, but I had to be homeschooled. Um,
How did he react when you left?
oh, it hurt him really bad. I know it. I finally just came crashing down, and like I just knew something had to give. You know, I can't do this anymore. So I talked to some of my sisters came over and stuff. I talked to my dad, and I just told him I can't do it anymore, Dad. Like I love you, but I'm tired of pretending. You know, I don't believe that way that you do. And I want to get out. I want to go to school and stuff like that. And like towards that time, I had gotten my social security, so I told him that. And then I'd gotten my disability too, because I knew I definitely needed an income. And so he just it turned out way better than I thought. It was really very, very heartbreaking for both of us. And he cried and said how he couldn't imagine living life anymore, stuff like that. I know it hurt him really bad, but just had to tell him I couldn't do it anymore. Um, And so he, at that time, had a rent house that he owned a couple, like not even probably about a mile away from his house. And he told me that I could have it. So he gave me the house and put my name on it. And so it turned out really, really good. But it was hard. It was definitely one of the hardest times in my life. I was really scared. You know, I had never, ever, ever been on my own. My brother was already living in this house, and so he said that we could be roommates and stuff. So I got a room, and he got a room. And so for a while, it was just me and my brother here, and that was awesome. But I was scared because I knew I had a lot of independency. Like there were things I couldn't do at my dad's. Like I wasn't able to wash my hair and stuff because our religion didn't allow you to cut your hair. And so my hair was down all the way to my ankles. And so my stepmom had to brush it for me and put it up in a bun for me and stuff because I have such limited usage in my arms and stuff see my hands and stuff. I'm finding out everything that I have now. I've been out here for 5 years, but yeah, I was very scared. I wasn't quite sure, hey, am I gonna be able to, take care of myself on my own without my stepmom? And I did really good. I take care of myself pretty well, so I'm happy about that.
So I'm sure it got easier as time went on, but at first it was probably very scary. But your brother was there with you.
Mhm.
So then when did you meet your fiance?
Um, I have been living here. Let me see. Uh, I've probably only been living here about 6 months, and we met on Facebook because he was friends with two of my cousins that are married, and he's like, well, he goes, oh, okay, well, if she knows them, then she's probably okay, you know what I mean? And stuff. And then also I was going to school with a girl that he knew too. So that's how we kind of started talking to each other. And then he ended up coming over, and I had been with a few guys before, and they never treated me like him.
Oh,
Yeah, the very first time he came over, we hung out, and he met my brother and his girlfriend, and then he took me out and got me something for dinner. Like that was like my first real date. So it was really sweet, but he's just been a great guy. We've been together almost 4 years now.
wow.
Hmm.
Okay, so I've got to ask you about the weight loss because this is a health and wellness channel. I want to know how much weight you lost in what period of time and how you did it.
Okay, so I've lost 60 pounds in a little over a year. It was, well, around September of 2022, I had gallbladder removal surgery. And so after that, that kind of changed how I could eat, to be honest. And that's just kind of where I learned how to change my whole entire diet. I had gained a lot of weight the past few years, and so I gotten to over 230 pounds. And so after my surgery, I started losing weight and just eating a lot healthier, finding the things that I can eat after having my gallbladder taken out. And I just don't eat a whole lot, to be honest. I eat one or two meals a day, and my fiance lives here, and he's a really good cook. And so
Good.
he cooks us a meal every day. Like we have a lot of chicken and vegetables and stuff like that. So that's And I've also gotten a lot more physical. I'm in the wheelchair, but I go up and down the driveway, and it gives me opportunity to walk up and down, moving my legs and stuff. And so I've just been doing that for the past year, and I've now lost 60 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
I feel
you feel a whole lot better.
I do. I feel like a new person. I can fit clothes that I used to have in the back of the closet, and that was exciting. I had to get rid of some of my other clothes because they were too big now.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So when is the big wedding?
We're not sure yet. We're gonna get some finances and stuff lined up right now. And he's had a lot of health problems, so we're waiting to see like which direction he has to go next. And we're also trying to see if I'm gonna go back to school or if I'm gonna get a job. I'm not sure yet.
So you're not working yet.
No, but I started going to like an adult day center for elderly people and young adult disabled people. So I started going there, and I'm gonna start volunteering my time there. I think it would be great. I've been about 4 or 5 times now, and I just love helping people. So that's what I want to do for now.
So what is your long-term goal as far as working goes? What would you like to do?
What I would like to do is
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can build up at the place I'm going. I really would like to be able to stay there and to start working there, like as an administrator or, I mean, whatever. If I have to start out young, start out like really slow and simple, then that's fine. But I also want to be a therapist. I just want to help disabled people.
Okay. So what advice would you give to somebody who's younger that might be watching this that's stuck in a cult they don't want to be in? What do you wish somebody would have told you when you were younger that would have helped you either get out faster, deal with it better, or just make your life better at that point?
Hmm, I guess I guess I would say just try to look on the outside, try to find somebody on the outside to talk to is a good start. And I wish someone had told me that. I wish someone who would have just straight up told me, like, hey, there's a whole new world and I'm gonna take you. I know you're young, but but I don't know if that would have turned out right
Yeah,
either. But I, you can sit and think about it all day, and I try not to because it's like there's really honestly nothing you could do to change it.
right.
And,
Okay.
but
Did anything good come out of this cult?
yeah, I think that my dad did teach me really good morals and standards and boundaries, like where to set boundaries. I believe he did teach that good to me, and also his belief. I believe in that too, but not to how he did.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get into these cults and they become abused and all kinds of horrible things happen. So I think there's a lot of different levels to this. It sounds like yours wasn't as bad as other ones I've read about. I think really the sheltering part can be good and it can be bad based on or depending on who you are as a person,
Mhm.
because your chances of getting out of the world and using drugs or doing things that are dangerous to your health when you're young and dumb, like a lot of us do, um, didn't happen. I guess I would think that the negative part is that you missed out on some of those years, but you're safe and you're thriving now. Hi, Jetty May. So I don't know. You had a great relationship with your father. That's something a lot of people don't have. Um,
Mhm.
so that's good. And I think that I don't know. It seems like you turned out really well to me. You've got a good guy. You've got you've been through school now. You know what you want. You know what you want to do. Um, is there anything we missed in this conversation?
I mean, I would say I am doing pretty well now, but for the past few years, it has been very difficult to adjust. I've had to learn a completely new life, and if I didn't have my fiance, I would be so lost because there's just like simple things that I don't know.
Right.
It's so he calls it culture shock, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. But there's times like where I feel so much anxiety because I'm just like, whoa, I'm doing this now. This is weird. I still have those moments even today.
Do you talk to your siblings very often?
Yeah, occasionally we all just have like completely different lives.
Right.
Hmm.
But you don't associate with anybody from that church anymore, right?
Right, no. I saw them at my brother's funeral last month, and saw one of them that told me I was gonna go to hell, and he told me that I would not see my mom. I was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I saw him again, and he's like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. I'm just like, okay.
So, that's saying that you're going to go to hell because you don't go to his church is probably not a reasonable statement, first of all.
No,
She is a good person, Jetty. I agree with you. She says it's not true. I don't think it's true either. You
thank
know,
you.
as long as you are, following the rules that you believe you're a good person, you're loving to people, you're not somebody that's abusive or a terrible person. I mean, I don't think it
No,
matters what church you go to.
no, I haven't gotten in any trouble with the law or anything, so I'm
That's
just.
good.
Hmm.
That's good.
I think staying in school will keep me out of trouble.
Well, I think staying in school helps a lot. Just
Hmm.
keep your brain active, right? I mean, the
Yeah,
more the more you learn, the better job you're going to get, and you're probably going to be happier because you're going to learn so much. Being a therapist has a lot of perks to it, just from the joy standpoint. Because when you help somebody change their life, it makes you feel good inside.
yeah, it does.
It's not, working is, and I tell this to people all the time, you need to like what you're doing. That's one of the keys to happiness. If you're working a job for money and you hate it, and a lot of us are like that, then you're wasting 40 hours a week at least doing something you don't want to do just for money, and that it's just not worth it in the long run. It's not.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes it's kind of forced to go into something you don't want to.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
yeah, sometimes you are, but sometimes I just have the lucky advantage of being able to go to school and stuff and not have children or anything that occupies my time. So,
Right.
because
You,
even going to the junior college, it took a lot of time.
oh, it's a lot of work. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
college can be difficult for sure.
Hmm.
So, is there anything else you want to tell these wonderful people out here? Do you have any questions, Jetty May, or anybody that's in the audience? Do you have any questions for Mary? I wish I had one of those Jeopardy sounds in the background. Da, 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 da. Okay, well, thanks for coming on. I really
Yeah,
do appreciate it, and good luck to you. And keep me posted of how you're doing, and when you do decide to get a job and get married and all that. I really would love to bring you back up here because I,
that,
I think I love your story. I think it's fascinating. I mean, you've come a long way.
yeah, I really have. This was probably the first year, this past year was the first year I finally wanted to care about what I look like. I'm starting to care about my reputation, my self-image, and that now I'm just like doing like facial cleansing, like just taking really good care of myself, and it feels really good. So
And you
I'm,
look different since the last time I talked to you. It hasn't been that long, really. It's been a few months.
mm-hmm.
So whatever you're doing is working.
Yay! I'm going.
Yes.
That is about 30 more pounds, probably 20 to 30 more pounds, and I should be good.
Wow, that you're going to be down really low if you lose that much. But that's
I'm
your goal.
yeah, I'm about 176 right now.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, well that's a good goal.
Yeah, I feel a lot better.
You show them that there is hope moving forward. Yes, I agree with you, Jetty May. I think there are a lot of people that do feel trapped, and Mary's a good example of. I mean, if she can get out of a situation, anybody can. She's disabled, had no real, contact with the outside world, didn't even go to school. So she made a decision, and it was hard, but she did it, and now look at her.
Mhm.
I think it's awesome.
You just have to really believe in yourself and know that you can do anything you put your mind to.
That's exactly right. And I think that and not don't ever give up.
Mm.
You decide what you want to do and do it. And,
Yeah.
and you're gonna run into problems. You're gonna run into obstacles, but we all do.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Yep.
But it definitely starts by caring about yourself first and wanting to put yourself out there,
You're
believing
gonna
you can do
you're gonna
it.
do it. Jetty May, you're gonna be just fine. I promise. You're one of the smartest people I know, and definitely very good at a lot of things. So, but change is hard. It is, right? I mean, change is something that a lot of people don't like, a lot of people stray away from. But if you don't change and you don't grow, you can become very, very bored. And your mom, yes, I'm sure she has. I love
Mhm.
your mom. I bet she has. And we're going to get Jetty May back up here too when she gets through this whole thing.
Okay, I'll have to join.
Yes, you should.
Just follow me on TikTok and you'll see all my current events and stuff. I try to keep up with that regularly.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, everyone. That was Mary. That's the second time I've had her on. She is an inspiration to me and everybody else, really, just what she has been able to accomplish. And I love talking to her. And I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Pharmacist Michael. Be happy and be healthy. I'll see you all soon.